All right, call this meeting to order. Let's stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Shirley, you can find a seat now.
You sit in the front row, you're gonna be seen.
Do roll call.
Yeah.
Mr. Warner,
Yes.
Ms. Rupp,
Yes.
Mr. Meyerholz.
Yep.
Ms. Soucer, Bell,
Yeah.
Ms. Kukowski.
Yes.
I know. Maybe it's better that way.
Do we have any additions or to the agenda? Thing that needs to be reassigned? If not, everybody had a chance to look over the minutes from the last meeting. And if so, we just need a motion.
So moved.
We got a motion,
Second.
a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Old business, this will be the final reading of. I did again, does it just move around on me when I look at them? Final reading of 2025-13 is the auto pay and auto route expenses. This is a resolution authority of the fiscal officer to receive payment for routine, ordinary, and contractual expenses without prior council approval, subject to reporting requirements. Any additions to this? If not, we just need a motion to approve.
So moved.
We have a first, we have a second.
Second.
Roll call, Mr. Warner,
Yes.
Ms. Rupp,
Yes.
Mr. Meyerhold,
Yes.
Ms.
Yes.
Soucer, Mrs. Patel, Ms. Kukowski.
Yes.
Okay. That one is. The other one's final reading for 2025-14. And this is establishing, resolution establishing downtown business districts. Is there any conversation on that one? If not, we just need a motion to approve.
Okay.
We have a first, we have a second.
Second.
Roll call. Mr. Warner,
Yes.
Ms. Rupp,
Yes.
Mr. Meyerhold,
Yes.
Ms. Soucer,
Yes.
Mrs. Patel,
Yes.
and Ms. Kukowski.
Yes.
Okay. Final reading for resolution 2025-15. This is for the resolution for authorization of the sale and transfer of the village property needed for public use. This is for the WSIA equipment. Any more conversation on that one? If not, we just need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a first and a second. Roll call, Mr. Warner,
Yes.
Ms. Rupp,
Yes.
Mr. Meyerhold,
Yes.
Ms. Soucer,
Yes.
Mrs. Patel,
Yes.
Ms. Kukowski.
Yes.
All right. Going to do the EMS contract. Resolution. This would be the second reading. The only thing that was on the table was the contract rates and terms, right? So is there anything that anybody wants to discuss on this one?
I personally think that we should, for the first year, do the reduced amount and then the full amount the second and third years.
Okay, the reduced amount, what was that reduced amount you're proposing? Because there was a couple of them, I believe.
There were different amounts for the different areas. It was what was originally proposed by Rob in the safety meeting. And they will escape my brain. It was for specifically Weston Township and Milton Township of $7,000 the first year. And then Milton Center and Custer would just be their regular rate. In Jackson, yep, in Jackson Township would be at 10K. Where they're starting.
And then that would be referred to
And Liberty.
Liberty Township dropping down, or
Yes, dropping down. Thank you.
is there any other discussions on that, or do you guys want to vote to put this into play so we can finalize the readings?
I definitely am open to discussion of other pay rates or if people agree with what I proposed.
Liberty's going down to 10, right?
Yeah.
Correct. Jackson will be going up to 10 if basically if anybody or everybody agrees to the contract, that's what they'll be paying from whatever we put in place. Do we want to take a vote on putting this rates schedule into place so we can continue on with the third and final reading?
I'll make the motion
What's the rate?
for the, what I just listed,
1,000 for the first year. What's the pro rate for the second or third year?
the full 10,000.
Second year to the full 10,000?
Mhm.
This is a 3-year contract?
Yep.
So you got a motion for the $7,000 for Weston Township and Milton Township. Custer, Milton will stay the same. Milton,
Liberty.
Liberty Township, and then Jackson Township would be $10,000. Second. No second, we'll continue on. Make that the second reading, then we'll bring something else to the table on the next meeting then. Thank you. Okay, this would be the second reading a resolution for a PEP faithful performance. Find that one now, so. Okay, this will be a resolution authorizing the use of a public entity pool, employee dishonesty and faithful performance of duty coverage in lieu of individual security bond and for officers, employees, and appointed pursuant to ORC 3.061. Any discussion on this one? If not, mark that as a second reading. Okay. We come back to report, so it would be me. I really don't have nothing per se. Been very busy with personal stuff, so bear with me. I kind of, will try to make to every meeting I'm supposed to regarding to all the committees and stuff, so, that's all I have to say. Now we have, fiscal officer and administrative.
OHM would like to schedule kickoff meeting to discuss the proposed plans and ensure they align with our expectations. I'm not sure who would like to attend to that or attend that meeting. But I did send an email out to gauge interest, and collect availability so I can get back with them and get something
Do you have
scheduled.
a date in mind?
No, not really.
A time of day? Is it during the day or?
Probably like during the day. I think that, I don't know if they have evening availability right now.
Probably won't be able to make it.
I can see, and then I can let everybody
Let me
know.
know what day. I'll try and commit to it.
Okay,
Yeah, if I know the date too, I would.
okay, so you, more like you're open?
Yeah.
Okay. No. We received a $200 donation from the Merle family for a new Merle Park sign. I do have the check in hand. We just need to accept or decline the donation.
And that's under miscellaneous business, so if there's any discussion,
Oh, yeah.
we can talk about that then, or we can handle it now, so.
I'll skip over the next one because that one's miscellaneous business too. Wait, yeah, and the next one. And the next one. Yeah, that's all I had, I guess. Everything else is on the agenda.
All right. Administrator make Harold?
Yeah, I got, a final confirmation on whether to start Sycamore Creek Drainage Project, and that's September or October 13th. Contact with Tim Loman for the crack sealer. He told me Friday that he's trying his best, waiting on parts for the machine, and they're short staffed. So he apologizes for any delays in getting us a crack sealer. So I just told him.
Still in Henry Township's possession?
I believe so. Didn't give me that information, but he just said that they're waiting on parts, so something must have happened to it.
Okay.
And for the wood chipper, that is down at the shop again. We had taken it down there because it was not running right. They had fixed it. And then when we got it back, it started blowing out white smoke and the switch shut off. So we took it back down there, found out that there was what did he say was, there was a pickup tube that was bad. So they replaced the pickup tube on it. So when we brought it back, the drum will not roll and reverse to feed into the machine. So I had to take it back down there. Not very happy about that, but, for right now, I do believe that we do not have enough funds available to pay the bill completely. And what they are planning on doing to it after, once they get it into the shop to figure out what's causing this problem, we're gonna have to reallocate some funds to pay to pay for the whole thing. And I'm not exactly sure, I think another 1,000 should cover everything.
The initial bill was down for something,
Has been taken care of already.
but then the pickup tube, was that covered?
That was like,
Was that something that they messed with, did something that they should be honoring?
they never said anything about it being anything that they did.
Okay.
So, and as far as this last situation, it worked before it went down there.
Mhm.
And then when we got it back, it did not work. It worked one way, but then when you put it in reverse to feed into the machine, it just doesn't go anywhere. It's like it's in the stop position.
Okay.
So that's the last situation, the last thing that I'm currently dealing with them on.
As far as the damage and the fixes, did it happen while we were using it? Is it something insurance could be utilized for? Like,
We were trying to use it because we had got it back the first time. Jerry took it down behind the salt building to try and chip up some of that wood back there. And as soon as he did, as soon as he put a load on it, it just killed the machine and it wouldn't continue to run. So that's why I took it back down there and they said that's where the pickup tube issue came from.
could we check into insurance?
So I was wondering if we've sent this to insurance yet.
If there's not enough funds, at least find out if they can and then.
I think we have to probably figure out a proper diagnosis, I'm sure, but yeah, I'm sure that can happen. Text me the information,
Okay,
I will follow up with them.
okay.
Is that it?
Yeah.
I have one thing for Harold.
Go ahead.
The sign over here, no trucks going on to Cherry and Willow. Citizen wants to know if it can be moved so it's more not underneath the tree and not at an angle.
I can, yeah, or I can trim the tree up.
Either way, as long as it's more visible.
Okay,
Whose tree is it?
Is it closer to the curve
it's almost on the curve as it is.
on both directions?
It's this way, if you're talking about this.
You talking about the one that's going this way?
Mhm.
We probably should put it closer to the intersection, so
Okay.
don't
they're not trying to back up after oh crap, we've seen
I
it.
see the other one on the
Yeah.
next corner?
Yeah.
Okay, I will move that one, correct.
Thank you.
Is that it? Anybody else? All right. Code enforcement zoning, Ken.
Yes, September 18th, I sent a letter to the property owner
concerning the use of the property. On the 19th, I received a call from a resident regarding the neighbor's use of their property. I talked to him and there's no follow-up necessary. And this was a different property. So, September 24th, village planning commission meeting. Received a call from property owner on Center Street in response to my letter concerning his fence. He reported he would be taking the fence down. October 1st, I received an email from a member of council who had received notice from a citizen regarding another resident's use of property. I've already been informed. This is a second notification I've received secondhand from this individual. Both of them, one was for a pool. Well, we don't need a pool permit. One was for a chicken coop. They've got a chicken coop permit. So it was all pretty much. I received a phone call from the surveyor regarding a lot split on North Main. He'll be sending me a copy of the survey and legal description. Today I received a copy of this lot split information. I then called the property owner regarding the decision on sewer water extension and or septic system. He's going to put in a grinder pump. And he's talked with the district and they'll put in a grinder pump in the line to tie into the existing west end of the sewer. I talked with Stephanie regarding a new shed on Clark and a vehicle being moved from the right of way on Locust Broad.
Anything for Ken?
The call from October 1st, the complaint also went for grass and weeds and the
Yeah.
length of those. Yeah, and I went by, it didn't seem to be, but I just want to make sure that was also.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, we have committee reports. This is a committee from Community Development and Public Affairs from 9/16.
In attendance was Brittany Klakowski, Ashley Patel, and Erica Roop. Previous minutes were approved. The edited subdivision code will be addressed during our planning commission meeting Wednesday, September 24th at 6. Reviewed downtown business district map. We all agreed to its accuracy and agreed it can be attached to the downtown business district resolution. We are waiting until downtown business district is established to readdress the Weston Thrive and Revive. End goal is intended to reward business owners for good practices, encouraging growth for the village. October 21st at 5:30, Stephanie Miller will attend our meeting. We will address creating an ordinance that suits our village and establishing an actual tree board. Interested parties should attend. I have emailed Mindy Hugaboom because she had shown interest in participation. Collecting suggestions from the Parks and Recs for the T-Mobile Hometown Grant. Suggesting to use the Suburban Natural Gas Community Development Fund to purchase materials for a mural on the side of the post office since Humanities Spark Grant is postponed due to funding cuts. Mentioned using Mrs. Rank's art class possibly for the Otsego Serves Day if school was continuing that event this year. Using this grant would also eliminate the historical component needed for the Humanities Spark Grant. Actionable items really weren't much. We are requesting to remove the Penny Taylor proposal from the agenda until further notice and order 100 logo tote bags for volunteer or for appreciation table.
So we have a actual item, well, two of them. Do we need a motion to take anything for Penny?
I don't believe so.
But we need one to order the 100 logo tote bags for appreciation volunteer day.
Didn't we already?
We already did it.
Yeah,
It's already
And
done.
last meeting,
Yeah, we already approved the budget.
that's the same one, same stuff for the.
Yeah.
Fine, all right. Then we have safety from 9/22.
In attendance was Ashley Patel, Ryan Meyer Holtz, myself, Rick Easterwood, Kathy Hyman, Jamie Schroeder, and Tim Schroeder. There have been 273 runs year to date. The crew would like to take an ambulance to the Apple Butter Fest. Discussion on new device use for intubation was had. It is $6,750, but it can be covered with a grant. We reviewed the MediCount visit from 9/17 and discussed best practices, and MediCount is going to send billing rate change verbiage for us to review in the future. Milton Center has not paid their 2025 contract nor returned a signed copy. To clarify, since the meeting, they have done that, so we don't have to have a discussion except to say that they have signed their contract and returned it with payment. Jackson Township is clear for the contract to be sent to them, and Safety Town Grant is waiting for the IRS to send us the required form. We don't have to do the first actionable item of agreeing to send a certified letter to the Milton Center mayor, because they returned it. And then we need to approve sending out bus 915 to go to the Apple Butter Fest, the EMS.
So is everybody on board? I just need a motion to let them use one of the ambulances to go to the Apple Butter Fest.
So moved.
Second.
First and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. We'll let Kathy know. Planning Commission from 9/24. Okay. That would have been me. Man, I did it already. Oh my God, I didn't forget that one. This was 6 o'clock in attendance with Shirley Moore, Erica Rupp, Ken Taylor, myself, and Bob Desmond. Northwest Water connection to our sewer district as the provider for the village. They would need to go through Northwest Water Sewer District for approval. And maybe contacted direct into info for direct options. And this was regarding one, the new property on Main Street that's existing, and for future discussion on any other new property, they would have to go through Northwest Water because they are our provider. Maybe there's discussion about some type of process for hooking up the stormwater and a possible fee, because right now we currently don't. So there was discussion on that. Reference a deck that is not clear in our code, possible different verbiage. We have to probably go through and redefine some of the definitions on our code that address some of these issues, because like decks are not really called out regarding a code, a permit or anything. So no code and definition for solar panels. We had people inquire about those. The village permit issued by us, electric permit. Building permit given the okay per our code, which there is no current code. The verbiage to go through the county for their approval, because they're the ones to give the approval for everything via the county. And then follow up after completion. We need to identify some of that stuff in our code. Storage units was brought up because there was request. Storage units are to be put in industrial 1 or 2 property. Per our code, the current storage units that we do have in the downtown districts would be grandfathered in reference because someone else wants to put more storage units down, and technically under our code, they're not allowed. Chicken discussion for permit, possible getting adjacent owners permission, possible once a year inspection. Also, if and when there's a complaint, adding a section in the zoning code for fines for higher penalty fees. Properties shall assume all legal fees, court costs, village, lawyer costs, courting, but not included to and limited to. The fee structures, permits, fees, like for instance, $10 for a fence, $15 for chickens, $20 for anything, any expansion over 15,000 over and per thousand, and $2 per thousand According to our code, variances application is 30. We need to come up with a better way to refer to a similar fee of other entities of our size. Zoning code setbacks for commercial needs need to be defined, front yard, backyard, and side yard parking as well. And there is things that we would need to do before a quick turnaround, possible meeting again, recurring the third Thursday of every month. This is a process that's going to take over time, and there's no decisions that can be made in that meetings, it's discussions. And everything we would come together as the board, the committee, the commission would be brought to council for a vote. So there's plenty of room for conversation on that. So
Did you mean Wednesday, the third Wednesday of the month? You said Thursday.
I'm sorry, third Wednesday. Cemetery from 10-2 and 10-6. Oh, they're gonna have one on 10-6, right?
It was before this.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh.
Cassie's got, yeah.
Okay, because I wasn't here.
These are the minutes that were approved in September's meeting. The cemetery trustees met at Village Hall. Diane Hiller called the meeting to order at PM. We called Diane Hiller, Robin, Dawn, Jody, Harold, Rick, Brittany, Dane Spurl, Thomas Spurl, Nicole and Eric Sargent was present. I was also there. Guests Jane, Thomas, and Eric and Nicole attended to discuss the letter asked for removal of their marker for their husband / father. The letter indicated that the composition of the marker is not within our rules of granite, marble, or bronze, therefore the marker will need to be removed. They indicated that it would last forever. The artist is very reputable. Also indicated that they were not aware of the rules. It was mentioned that they are on the website, inquired about disinterring, thank you. The burial and selling the graves back to the cemetery, which is possible. Jane handed out paperwork that she prepared concerning the marker and the issues overall. Rick asked for an affidavit from the company, the artist involved, indicating the composition, etc. The board will be in touch after the information is reviewed. They didn't really discuss anything. The spigot repair change leaks, ? S10 is repaired and ready to go. The post and chains to block the drive in the D extension has been installed. Due to the current fund balance, it's determined that the purchase of a new lawnmower will have to wait until 2027. Chase Blandy has been hired as part-time to mow and weed whack. It was discussed that the rules should be included. Each deed is mailed so that the purchaser is aware of the rules. Another side. There was no further business and the meeting was adjourned. Today's meeting. And we had a special meeting at 4:30, roll call, Diane, Robin, and Dawn. Jody was absent. Guests were Brittany and myself. The new business special meeting was scheduled for the board to vote on legal action against Jane Spurl regarding the metal sculpture placed on her cemetery foundation. The metal sculpture is not compliant with the cemetery rule regarding monument composition. Votes were Dawn, Robin, and Diane. All approved and said yes. Dawn asked if Mimi Yoon will be representing us. And Diane said yes. Dawn asked whose budget it would come out of, and they said village council's budget. Diane made the motion and Dawn seconded it. And the meeting was adjourned.
Right. Parks and Rec from 9:17.
Yep. So all of the actionable items from 9:17 and 10:1 are on your agenda today. So I think that's already covered.
Good. We will go for those under the miscellaneous business. Okay, Ron? So
Absolutely. Yep.
the Public Works 9:23.
In attendance were myself, Erica Roop, Jessica Sousa, Bob Desmond, and Brittany Klakowski. Bob Desmond was here. We discussed the flooding in the area of Washington Street. Mr. Desmond proposed installing catch basins in each affected yard, leaving it up to the property owners to tie into the storm drainage system. The plan involves trenching into the road and installing 12-inch pipe that will connect to the existing storm line on Washington Street using a blind T connection. It was also proposed to run parallel 8-inch lines on each side of the road and tie into each manhole. I did agree and have reached out to Delta Institute as far as what they thought as were part of their pilot program for that area. And they are working with GLCAP as far as the scope of the work for GIS mapping, and they can do that. I did also get an email from GLCAP today that GIS mapping should begin around October 21st. Stuff for Harold that he would do, obtain pricing from Palmer Excavating for installing catch basins in the yards, running the pipe to the main storm line. Also, they survey the area to determine elevation changes and locate drainage problem in spots. Assess the slope from the low points in the yards to the road to ensure proper drainage. I think this may have been mentioned before. I'll mention again. RLCAP is offering to use a grant to fund approximately 80 hours of inspection work on our stormwater system. Their team would assess the strength and health of our assets, as well as review overall code compliance. And following the grant funded hours, there would be a contract presented for us to review and what that cost would be. And the contract will outline the portion of the work covered at no cost, along with the rates, the cost above the 80 hours. As of our last meeting, we were still waiting on Toledo Edison to finish electric work to proceed with the demolition of the old bus garage.
That should be this week.
The demolition or the meeting?
The electrical removal.
Electrical should be
Okay.
moved by sometime this week.
Gotcha. It was decided if there was extra stone from another project, it will be used to fill in potholes on the Ash Street extension. It appears there is a concrete overflow where the ground sleeves are, and Harold was going to inspect that on the pickleball courts.
I did, and it's better off that we just paint it or stain the concrete to make it match the asphalt that is there.
Okay.
Because if you try and take it, you try and remove it, you use different aero asphalt, so it's better off just to stain it and make it look similar.
Okay. We discussed the OPWC and engineering that needs to be done. I did send an email with Stephanie because we all couldn't remember that the village did decide to work with OHM on the project. It appears that Mr. Desmond and DPL could have done this job. I have a personal apology that I was under the impression that you could not, and maybe that is something that I should have followed up and got more clarification on from you. So that is, I will apologize for that. We also reviewed the quote for chip and seal third tier roads. This is to be added to the wish list for public works in 2026. And our actionable item is for CDBG to propose and submit a grant for ADA compliance for sidewalks.
So actual items, we need to vote on making the CBDG accessible for
ADA.
ADA. We need a, first and a second if we want to apply for that.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Do we want a point person for that? To work with Christie?
Well, I'll do that. Yeah.
Well, you made the motion, that's fine.
Yeah, that's sure. Sure.
And I guess they had another park and rec from 9:10 to 10:01, so I think that, I don't know if that's on here or not. Here it is.
Yeah, I think that one was also Ron had said was
Yep.
the actionable items are on the agenda.
All right, upcoming meetings, administrative process, 10:13 at 6, community development and public affairs, 10:21 at 5:30, safety at 10:27 at 6, public works, 10:28 at 6. The only thing that we need to do is that planning commission, if works with Shirley and Bob still on the third Wednesday, right? Third Wednesday. Shirley, we just need a yes. Okay. So we'll put that on the books. So, and then I think there was discussion of that going to be a continuous time frame.
Okay.
So. For that. All right. New business, the offer to purchase the right of way. This,
Like I can,
Yeah.
explain.
you can, I got questions. So,
In our folder, we, have a offer to purchase right away. I sent this to Paul and he's handling communication with the appropriate party. I think he reached out to maybe their legal counsel. The original offer included a confidentiality provision. However, with us being a political subdivision, subject to record laws, Paul suggested a modification. Once that is, accepted by the other party, Paul will present it back to us with legislation. He also informed them that we would require 3 readings and that if they, thought it was an emergency measure that they would have to provide justification. So right now we're just waiting on their response and the proper documents to proceed.
And where is this property at?
this would be
I
the,
mean, I know, but
this would be the property that's located close to the Beaver Creek outside of town.
Custer and Sandridge, you're on Custer.
In Sand Ridge Road. From the descriptions, it looks like they might be putting a substation there.
that's what I thought.
I don't know what they have done with the adjacent property owners. So that would be a conversation
Yeah.
probably with them.
It's an electrical company, right?
Yeah. They're gonna, it sounded like when I was reading it, they were gonna try to do transmission lines or something for.
From Deshler to-
from Deshler. And this is just a relay point to go to Perrysburg, just so everybody knows. We're out in the power, so. So it keeps us all in power, hopefully.
We currently don't use that property for,
According to the auditor's site, the property that I did see that was marked ours was kind of a little bit off skewed, so I thought we owned the parallel portion with Sand Ridge Road, because that's where the old pump house was, but this question, according to the auditor's site, is grassland a little bit more. Obviously, it's all about surveys and everything else, so, but the property owner that goes all the way around it is the same property owner that owns all the pieces around it, so. I think it's probably a warrant, a conversation with them. So I can reach out to the property owner and verify that there's no skin in the game for us. I mean, we don't have the pump house there no more. So it really, is not, a high, profitable thing for us. I think it was like 1,500 or whatever it was for the thing. That's what their
1,600, 1,500.
auditor site says. Where's 45? I mean, just saying, I don't know, conversation. So. And that is basically that. So is there any other questions on regarding that right away agreement? We'll move on to the next thing. And this would be the prosecutor contract.
We are just waiting on Paul to get written documentation. When we put Nick Wainwright in place a couple years ago, we just did a voice vote on that. The current rate for the prosecutor is now $150 an hour. We just have a contract lapse. So Mimi Yoon, who is BG's prosecutor, is willing to take us on. We do have cases that have been handled and will be back billed. And then obviously she said she'd be willing to take on the cemetery case. Or depending on the cemetery board's decision, which we got.
So do we need to wait for the contract?
Not really. That's just putting on paper that Mimi is gonna be our prosecutor.
So we're going to need a roll call vote. Or a first and a second and a roll call vote if we so choose to use this prosecutor Amy as a prosecutor for us to represent us.
Well, we don't have a contract.
We don't have a contract.
We didn't have one with Nick either.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was some verbiage that we found out that basically we had him before, but we didn't have him the last couple of years due to that individual leaving, and just kind of fell through the cracks. It's up to you guys if we want to make a motion for that or.
The back billing will process or prosecuted on the back billing. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah,
So
she's already been,
done
yeah.
For us
Mhm.
and we over.
Gotta need something. If not, I have to tell them to ex-nay the process.
It would be all village legal matters, correct?
All village legal matter.
Would be like now, past and future. Like,
Up to whatever the contract comes into play.
yeah.
I don't know what we did before as
I
far as
think
contract.
it's usually an annual renewal.
Just a prosecutor, right?
Prosecutor.
We don't,
Our legal counsel is still staff, and he does is protects us individually as a council member and fiscal, and give us advice for basically council. If we such choose to ex-nay his advice or go a different route, it's basically on us. So as far as that goes.
seeing that we don't have anybody currently, we kind of need somebody as a village. I'll motion to accept Mimi.
Second.
We're first and a second. We're gonna do a roll call. Mr. Warner,
Yes.
Mr. Rupp,
Yes.
Mr. Miles, Ms. Fisher, Mrs. Patel.
Yes.
Bukowski.
Yes.
Anybody have any questions on the expenditures of the bills?
Toledo Housing relocation purchase order for the bus garage.
Yes.
951, yeah.
Okay.
If everybody had a chance to review and no discussion on the bills, they just need a motion and mark paid.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
there's that. All opposed? And then we need to approve the September bank reconciliation.
So moved.
Second.
First and a second. Second it,
Erica did.
Erica.
as long as you got it. All in favor,
Yep.
say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Miscellaneous business, this would be the actual items for the Park and Rec was discussed, which is the door date approval for 10/18 for the Fall Fest road closure. We just need a
Well,
discussion on that.
I had a conversation with someone from the Methodist Church.
Mhm.
And they sold mums on the day of the last vendor's market. They sold them out by the church mainly because that's where the trailer was. However, they typically did a bake sale at vendor markets in the past, and they have not this year. And the reason was because alcohol was being served.
Mhm.
And I'm just curious that if we are having children there, are we excluding a certain segment of our people that could participate by having that there?
Because the village isn't selling it.
The village is,
I know, but the fact that it is being sold and it is that the village did approve it,
well, the village of,
I'm only kept.
I know, the council,
Churches have to be careful
sure.
about where they are.
I don't know are they wanting, or would they like us to section off a section that says no alcohol in that particular area? Because the DORA is basically what encompasses us, but I'm sure we probably can section off a section of that particular thing for them, but
Or they could just do a tag that says no alcohol.
I think the idea that alcohol is being served at that or was available at all was kind of their.
that's, that's unfortunate. I mean, that's just something that, you know, we established the door for particular reasons and
So the Fall Fest last year was Sunlight set up a booth at Fall Fest last year. Is Sunlight doing that again this year? Does anyone know?
I have no idea.
I think Christine has had contact. We can ask Ron if he's.
Yeah, I believe they are participating. We also, just to answer Craig's question, from the sidewalk by the village hall where you're at, will be out of bounds, that the door signs will be placed by the sidewalk. So all of that past that in the green space will be non-alcohol.
I would recommend that someone from the Parks and Rec reach out to someone from the Methodist Church.
I would help.
Somebody besides Shirley?
We can do that, Craig. Absolutely.
I know Shirley's here to do that. However, it seems that there was a disconnect between the Parks and Rec and the church as to, what was being done. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. Marty's been speaking with them about the fishing tournament and things of that nature. So.
Shirley, did you have anything about that? No?
I picked the date. I didn't realize that they was having a farmer's market that weekend. I was busy the first few weeks. And we just looked at the 20th and I said, okay. Set it up. I was busy the other 2 weeks.
You'll be able to bring back to them that we will have that section roped off?
All right,
Okay.
I can do that.
All right.
Said that he was gonna do it too.
Well, she's the representative. She also at the church is to make sure open line communication. So
I do have a suggestion. I had a business owner reach out to me that owns a business here on Main Street. And he informed me that he has not gotten any letters or anything along the lines when it's closed for the Weston Days.
the Fall Fest,
Yeah, no, Weston, including Weston Days too.
all the fun days or whatever.
Yeah, that he has to reroute his customers because they can't get through his downtown business.
Okay.
So I guess a little heads up to your business owners down there that the road's gonna be closed, so that way they can let their,
We'll put it on our,
know.
put it on our Facebook thing and on our newsletter, or not newsletter, but website.
Can we send something to them or, I
I'm
mean,
sure.
just in case they're not on Facebook?
Yeah.
Or notified?
I mean, future. They'll have like all the listed dates, so then we could just give them the whole list and then they can plan accordingly ahead of time.
Yep, we can work together with them. The other thing, miscellaneous business, was the accepting of the $200 donation for the.
We didn't do the.
Didn't approve.
Oh. Yeah, we need approval for to close the road for, the Fall Fest.
We're just voting, just voting to close.
I believe that's what we're doing because the door's already been established, so.
Dora had a approved date. Yeah.
Well, we'll prove it for that date.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have to make a motion to,
Yes, the previous one that we had was only those 3 dates.
Okay,
So
so-
we have to reapprove for this
we'll
date.
make a motion, that's
To have Dora at the 10/18 during Fall Fest,
plus with the road closure.
us with the road closure.
All right, we have a first, we have a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Okay,
All opposed?
No.
All right. Then we have a exception of a $200 donation for the Merrill Park sign.
I'll approve that donation. A motion for it.
We have a motion to approve the donation.
Second,
Have a second.
no matter.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. And this would be the rural development grant, what we discussed earlier, to go for the ADA compliance, right?
No, this is for the parking lot.
Oh, that's, oh, yeah,
The one that went down to 8,000.
yeah. This is,
80,000.
80.
do we have that,
It was 8,000 up.
that one in the folder?
No, that one is, I didn't scan that one in. It's a pretty thick packet.
Where was it before?
This,
The dollar amount?
90,000.
Down to
Yeah,
80.
she has notes on it in her fiscal officer report that we can read.
we'll go look at that real quick.
I can,
Yeah, you can,
I received a call from the USDA regarding the grant we applied for in February for that parking lot behind the library. They asked whether we are still interested, and if so, if we would accept 80,000 instead of 90,000 we originally requested. Due to the government shutdown, they are obligating the funds and have given us until this council meeting to decide whether to accept or decline. I did get, when I sent the email out, I did get a few responses. Let's see, I lost my spot here. The scope of a grant can't be changed once it's submitted, especially if it's awarded. I think there was a question on changing the scope. If I understood that right.
That's the new amount.
And then we just got to keep our 26 budget in mind. And then Christy also, because I shared it with her, she also asked if we do decline the grant, if that makes us ineligible for future funding. And then I put a suggestion that we have a point person for that. I think you were the point person before.
I was,
But that was before it was submitted. So if you want to have a new point person to kind of address the questions or,
and also.
yeah. Oh, yeah, I was gonna say if we put Christy as our in-between
Yeah,
person.
because she contacted them
Mhm.
multiple times in the beginning. I guess my question is if they award that amount, so the purpose of that was to pave that entire area, mark out parking. and just address that area behind
The library.
behind the library. For the businesses and as potential entertaining space in the future to increase walking space and parking space for downtown businesses. So since that grant, I've had multiple different complaints, some about lighting back there behind the businesses. Especially, you know, we had a bunch of questions like, why don't people use the library? Because it's such a nice space, but a lot of times they're using it after hours and they're going in at, there's no lighting back there. It's kind of scary. Is what I've been, some of the things I've gotten. I've gotten complaints from business owners whose patronage, because Porky's is so popular up front, their patrons come in from the back when it rains, which hasn't happened lately. They're walking through mud, they complain about the mud. Got a lot of complaints about the recycling bins, mud, potholes, things of that nature. So my thought process on this is if they're going to decrease the amount and it's not really changing the purpose of the project, it's still helping the community. It would still be paving, but it may be not the whole area. It would be a smaller area and maybe just more focused on where those complaints are to use up the funds that they're giving us without going into our budget, because this is a non-match grant.
Yeah, it'd
So
be a shame
it's-
to turn down $80,000.
Right, yes. So that's my thought process.
Is that,
I read-
are they gonna consider that changing the scope of the,
And that's what I don't know because
because we have it so
it's
laid
within
out?
the purpose and
Yes, because I do have like
Because wasn't there
the,
like
the breakdown, it has
retention?
asphalt paving for parking lot, 12,361 square feet, $42,000. Gravel for semi truck parking, $23,000. That square footage is 35,495. Parking lot striping, 8,000. Concrete barriers for safety separation, 6,750. Tree planting to create a natural barrier, 30 trees at $215 each, $7,000. Tree installation costs, $3,250, and that's what gets us to the 90,000.
You just take out the concrete barriers and the trees and you would have.
right, and it still serves the purpose.
Didn't we have drainage in there too?
I thought there was retention.
That was
If they're
that was
complaining about,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, the retention, because over a certain amount, asphalt have to have a fast way of getting it. And currently, right now, it would have to be, if anybody's tracked back there, it's, when we do get a lot of rain, it goes back behind this, library anyways. It does, it's fixed, it's that volume, even going through the stones and stuff, goes through there, so another form of drainage would probably be
idea.
ideal. And of course, there probably has to have a retention pond for something along that magnitude, because that's a pretty big square footage.
Since they said that they did obligate the funds, I know they were waiting on an answer back from us, but I think with the questions, we should have them answer that first,
Absolutely.
and then.
Because if the scope changes, fine.
Yeah,
I mean, I know you said, well, we'll take the barrier out and the trees out, but that takes away from the scope. I'm sure of it.
we can see, and those might just be small enough that they would be okay with. I mean, the barriers themselves are almost,
6,750, 7,000 for trees,
Yeah.
that's 13,000. That gets us under the, if we do that.
Mhm.
So we just do 4 trees.
Is there any
I mean, yeah,
engineering
they could
cost
wait, you
involved in this?
no. These were separate quotes put into this. Asphalt was its own,
I thought it was 10% of the project.
we didn't put the engineering quote in this one.
I thought we figured it.
No, it was just these, items.
So in other words, you'd have to have the engineering on top of this then, or
We definitely talked about engineering. And
Yeah.
yes,
Cause we had a quote from Bob and that was
That's what
not
I
put in.
yeah, it was definitely talked about. do those amounts that are listed add up to that 90,000?
Everything added up to 9,000 except there was no engineering.
Yeah,
But there was probably still some amount of our portion of that out of ours.
Wasn't my quote over 100,000?
I thought
I think it was close to 200,000.
So I guess.
That's where I was wondering.
How big is the asphalt you're putting down?
See if I got, let me see if that quote is in this packet here.
You're only put 2 inches down, you're gonna have busted up asphalt.
Especially if there's trucks.
Probably less than that. There's dumpsters back there behind those businesses that it'll just destroy it.
And I'm not 100% certain we go all the way up to the business parking. This was scoped out to go all the past the.
And if they allow you, if they allow you to change the scope, try to bring it closer to the businesses, but then force businesses to push their dumpsters further away outside of the asphalt. So garbage trucks will just destroy it.
Yeah, it says fine grade existing stone, compact stone, install 301 base coarse asphalt 2 inches, install 448 type 1 surface coarse asphalt 1.5, and then striping.
So that's 3.5 total.
Won't hold up to dump or garbage trucks, but gotta be careful where you're putting them.
Engineering cost on it because for the pavement and everything, you have to have.
Well, that's my biggest concern is by paving it, that there's no absorption there. It's just runoff.
So my question would be if they would still grant it for a smaller area, but an area that would solve the problems for the businesses.
And they'd still have to agree to push their dumpsters back then beyond the,
Right.
I don't know what the parcel is as far as how much we actually own to the back of the thing, because we can't really go all the way up to their thing. So
You guys go over the tracks.
What's that?
You guys go pretty close to the track. They're going like a 15-foot wide.
I think so, something along that line.
I looked at that.
I think there's some type of easement type thing there and,
Yeah.
then there's a service alley that goes around the building. And whether that that building wasn't supposed to be there and that it says it's supposed to go straight, but I don't know, it's what it is, so.
We also had, I believe there was an issue back there with water coming up near the buildings at one time.
Well, yeah,
I don't know as far as.
Harold had already fixed.
I understand
Harold
that,
fixed
but what I'm concerned about is the grade level back
Yeah.
there.
I think there's just too much uncertainty for their timeline that
that's
they're asking for.
offering a lot of time.
So,
Did you get a quote from the contractor to do that for 90,000?
No, it was pieced out different, like the asphalt is one, trees are another.
Hard time seeing them doing it for 90,000.
Yeah, I do too.
I thought it was way over that.
It was.
his own.
Yeah, Bob had a,
The whole project.
Yeah.
If we could shrink the size, I'd be okay with it. But if we cannot shrink the size, then it's not
And
worth
for
I would
it.
think, I would think they'd allow you to shrink the size if you had an engineer's estimate with it saying this is all $90,000 work.
Right.
Can't build anything more than this. Unless you need a match. It doesn't sound like you have a match.
No, this was a non-match.
So,
And you really don't know how far 90,000 is going to get you either from the engineering standpoint.
just need to,
we'll get the questions out and then bring it back on old business.
we can do that. If anybody else has any other questions that arise.
Yeah, send them to
send
me.
them, forward them to the appropriate person. Okay. I think that's it on the miscellaneous business. Okay. Citizens and visitors. We'll start. Shirley, everybody's moving. Nothing, Shirley? You up front? You? Nothing? Logan? I'm kind of going this way.
Good. I thought you were asking him, guys.
He's already been addressed.
Now it's Samantha down, either. Pacing rule.
Samantha?
Can I ask a pre-question? That doesn't count for my 3 minutes. All right.
But
because y'all gonna hold me to it, I know it. All right. If I ask a question, does your rebuttal count to my 3 minutes?
just ask the question.
They're, all right, they're lengthy. I had to write them down because you guys know I like to get off topic, all right? So it's no secret that I have issues with some of council. And I've decided to re-air them out publicly before the election. Basically, everybody in Weston knows how I feel. And I'm pretty confident who I'm voting for this as far as council goes. But I have some questions for the mayor. But you and I got a lot of respect. You and I see eye to eye typically. But the first question I have is, I want to ask your opinion on if your opinion has changed about how Rob spoke to me outside, because only you, Rob, and I know how that discussion went down. As he started to get more intense and he approached me unprovoked, yelling at me and wagging his finger in my face. We both tried to calm him, putting our hand up saying like, whoa, don't, chill out. After he walked away, I asked you, like, why does he feel like he can talk to me like that? You said, I don't know. And I said like, well, it's wrong. It's inappropriate. You said like, I agree. Anyway, now that you're mayor, would you have handled that situation differently?
I would have handled it a little bit differently if there was more aggression. When I say if he would have came to you, I don't think that would have been an issue. I sat here and reflect back, and I'm going to try to make it short. I sat here and reflect back, and me and you were having a conversation.
Right.
It was a conversation. And then when he exited the building, there was a comment that said, oh, what's up with the t-shirt clan or something along that line?
Who
And
made the comment?
you did.
I did not.
Yeah, pretty certain you did.
I did not make a comment to him. I did not, and I didn't engage. And if we can, we can pull up the videos. and
Sure, I don't-
He stood out there. I didn't say words to him at all. My body was turned and I was talking to you the whole time. And he slowly walked up. And then he started to make comments. You and I were talking about the prairie. That's what it was. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Because it was serious. It was intense.
What's
There was intense rebuttal, but you and I were having a good discussion about it. About like how can we, whatever.
Mhm.
And he started to get serious about it. And then that's when it got, whatever. And then I was like, how can I with the internet, how can I have the discussion if I'm supposed to, as a board member, behave on the internet? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's what it was. And then that's when he got intense.
and
We both put our hands up and then even at the same time, like, whoa,
chill out, type thing.
yeah.
And he basically exposed his, his freedom of speech accusation, and we got brought up in here that it was a little bit more aggressive than probably what some people might have interpreted.
Mhm.
But council at the time felt it needed not to pursue no other issues with it. I mean, when we're in here, our demeanor is held to a standard. You would think it would be held to a standard out there because obviously we all have to live with the decisions we make outside this place. But we also have the right to say what we want and freedom of speech and everything else. And
I would like to clarify, we did go into executive session on that. And when we came out on video, we did a vote.
But I want to clarify that, and I want to make sure I say something to Sam on that.
Mhm.
Had I seen the video, I would have handled it.
I
But
appreciate
the
it.
video was not shown in executive session and wasn't offered.
That's why
I should have asked, and I did not. That's on me.
I appreciate it. It doesn't matter at this point. I'm genuinely curious because you and I were the only people, well, and Rob, that really know like what was said and what really happened, because we were the only ones, and there's no audio.
right.
You and I know that it was only a conversation between you and I. I didn't provoke him by saying
I'm
anything
not-
about shirts. I didn't.
I remember
Eventually, yes.
I remember the conversation about the shirts.
Because then eventually I was like, all right, so then if I'm this big internet bully, how come I sit here by myself in here defending Parks and Rec at the time, surrounded by grown men in shirts? Every time I speak, I'm spoken to I'm cut off, I'm this, I'm that, that was the difference.
It's not here for you.
I hope not.
Excuse me. You have anything?
You guys have anything?
I don't have,
Paperwork for you guys? Nothing?
I don't have nothing.
Doesn't count to my family.
We'll discuss this.
I'm just joking.
No, we don't have nothing. It's not, nobody has.
Yes, we're going on 5 now.
Waste Management keeps running the stop sign at Oak Street and Broadway. I let the village know, they said to let the police officers know that, so.
Should Oak and Broadway?
What time- I couldn't tell you that. I can check my read camera. What time does the Waste Management pick up when you checked in on my complaint?
I know ours is,
Are you referring to the dumpster or the?
Yeah, the dumpster by the ball.
I don't know when
They
they pick that up.
routinely run the stop sign when they.
it's usually, every other Tuesday. When was the last time they did pick up?
Did it last week,
So their next one would be the following week.
AM between 10 and noon.
Yeah, sometimes 1. Yeah.
So usually at ours.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Does the sheriff's office enforce the rule that vehicles are not allowed to block sidewalks?
Wow.
Does the sheriff's office enforce the rule that cars are not allowed to block sidewalks?
That like a
The state law.
say law? Yeah, we can. Any cars blocking sidewalks, just walk to them. Okay, yeah, I'll pass it along.
Thank you.
What's that?
Okay.
All good?
All good?
Through the chair,
Sorry, you're up too.
That's all right.
Oh, it's fine.
I added a 2-car garage to my house and my driveway goes to the road and across the sidewalks there.
Okay.
So I'm not allowed to park there.
Yeah, you can't be blocking sidewalks.
Why would they let me put my garage up there then?
And-
Do your best to not block sidewalks.
I'm like a Ken Taylor problem.
It's full.
You're not.
Okay.
I know.
Get more information on that. He'll find out if it's an enforceable thing.
You guys have a ordinance for it?
No, are there any?
we always adopt ORC and it's an ORC
Okay, so yeah.
for ADA compliance.
I didn't say description.
All right, all good then. I'll
Thank
pass
you.
it all along to the guys and gals in the room.
Okay.
All right, have a good one.
All right. I got about like 30 seconds, but
I
I'm gonna do my best to enforce everything that I possibly can in this chambers. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and we, everybody in this room knows it was incredibly inappropriate. Had it been any further from the building, had it not been right after or whatever, I don't care. I wasn't scared. I wasn't intimidated. It was intimidating. It was inappropriate. That's it. Had it been anybody else, had it not been Samantha, right? Had it been any other council member talking to anybody else from the public, it wasn't cool. That's it. It's not new for that council member. It's not new behavior. We know that. That's just it. That's what it is. Anyway, so I was curious. Cause like I had a lot of respect for you. I had a lot of respect for you. You were there, you watched it happen. And like, so that whole situation sucked. The way that it was handled, the ball was dropped, that sucked. Anyway, the next two are quick and they're about Parks and Rec. Shocker. All right. So, you and Rob both stated, I don't need this. You and Rob both stated that, you didn't want to see a Parks and Rec budget spent only on, events and programs, right? You guys said that, okay? So has your position changed on that issue? Or is it just that those seats have been filled with people that you feel differently about? Because currently, the current Parks and Rec hasn't spent the budget on anything other than Dora Cups. And they are planning on spending the budget on events not only similar to mine, but named the exact same names as the events that I planned. So that's,
I'm gonna vote for whatever brings good nature to the village. I mean, they're not only doing it for entertainment, and they're trying to utilize their funds for, the actual resources of fixing the stuff. They want more improvements. So I'm going by what the board wants to do. But it's not, but now it's not my decision, right? I mean, it's council's and
I'm
everything.
asking your opinion on it. Has your opinion changed on that issue?
Um,
Do you still support them spending the budget on those events or not?
me currently right now,
Yes.
I don't think we should spend the money for that. But that's just me.
And that, I'm only asking about it.
That's just me.
I'm asking the
Because
mayor's opinion
It
because
was when I was back in the day, the Parks and Recs used their money for mulch and stuff like that. They take it out of the general fund. So my theory is still the same, so.
that's the answer I'm looking for.
Okay.
Because had you said something different, then it would have been different. And then my last question is, it's another opinion question. What is your opinion on Parks and Rec deciding to vote off their liaison? Why do you think they did that? From an outsider opinion, it seems fishy, for a lack of a better term.
Well, that was a rule that was brought up to council and not everybody voted to do the liaison interaction. Some people chose to do it. Some people chose not to do it. It was left it up to the committees to decide that. And that's up to the committees.
So just, there's other boards that don't have one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was just asking because I found out that.
Well, the cemetery didn't want one.
They have one.
But yeah, but now they didn't want one, but then we come up with the delay.
Yeah, we did the hybrid one.
Yeah, the
I
hybrid
just,
ones, not every meeting.
They
It's,
still have a liaison.
okay,
Yeah. That's.
but it's actually
Okay.
we want to make sure that the boards, everything that they bring up comes from them and not interpreted by a liaison. Bottom line. If Park and Rec doesn't ask for nothing, they don't get nothing.
How'd that happen if the cemetery didn't want a liaison and now they have a liaison? How'd that happen?
Because we did the hybrid thing.
They adopted the
They
hybrid
never
one.
lost their liaison. They adopted a hybrid where actually it's only.
They never didn't want one.
They treat their liaison as a two-way street. They asked Ashley questions on what should we do, what would council, what's the proper procedure? Instead of the liaison just reporting back what they're doing in their meetings, they go to the liaison for information regarding what they should do.
that's why the minutes are a month behind because they are, before they were not approved minutes. Now they're approved minutes. That's why they're a month behind.
What's the point of what's the point of voting it off? What was the point of not having a liaison?
It was council's decision to
It was council's
No, it was
decision.
not council's.
brought up to move forward on any particular board. If the board,
I thought Parks and Rec voted off there.
They
he
did.
did not want it, it went to council and
Parks and Rec.
And then council said it was okay to.
the council said, we voted, if they wanted to get rid of it, then they would have to have some representative here.
Vote. They were like,
I
yeah.
don't
Doesn't matter if it was
remember voting on whether or not Parks and Rec made a decision to get rid of the liaison, and that was the end of that discussion.
Mhm.
Council did not vote on whether or not Parks.
Vote on nothing here for Parks and Rec if they don't bring it to us. They can't spend a dime on anything unless they bring it to us. And they're doing the same thing. Well, I mean,
No, I'm only talking about the liaison.
Alright.
I'm not talking about their budget. I don't care about that. I'm talking about the liaison. So.
they voted not to have a liaison.
From my recollection, council did vote not on individual committees, but to let the committees
Decide
decide.
themselves, okay.
The board, it's not the committee.
Or-
Board. The
Board.
committees don't need liaisons because they're made up of council members.
Boards, which there are three.
Let me answer your question.
No, my question was to you then. Why do you think that Parks?
They
and Rec-
chose, they chose,
Why do you think they did that?
don't know. You'd have to ask them.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't go to those meetings hardly ever, and I don't go to them now unless I'm asked to go.
You never attended one of mine, so.
And
Well, you said hardly ever.
well, unless I'm asked to go. Let's like, for instance, if I'm representing something.
Right. Yes, you answered.
Other-
You answered all of my questions. Thank you.
Bob?
I'm just here to drop off my SOQs for detail.
Okay. Jeremy?
I heard you say earlier that you were going to go to more committee meetings. You just said otherwise there, but I was just gonna say, I think that's a good thing. Good job.
And then I had a genuine question about Liberty Township. Just like a question of like why you would lower their contract, given that nothing's getting cheaper.
We were trying to, I think the focus of the committee was try to put everybody on the same playing field, same amount of investment. The runs were tallied where they were about the same between Weston Township, Liberty Township, and Milton Township. And we wanted to get everybody the same. Obviously, they have a levy for their particular services, and they have the funds to do it, and they had no problem paying the $15,000. But it was kind of hard for us to go from a lower amount and still provide service to all of them. So we wanted to make them clear across the board.
Yeah, I guess the confusing part to me was the reason that they went up to that amount, and the last time we did an increase was to like put everyone on the same playing field. And I noticed in the minutes that it was, talked about being lowered. I mean, that's fine. It's just curious. That's all. And then just kind of piggybacking off of the liaison, the committee meeting minutes aren't, necessarily readily available. And so when people report on them in these meetings, they are immediately available. And the report that I got for cemetery, which had a liaison, and the report that you gave for the, planning commission meeting were very informational. And the report that we got from Ron for Parks and Rec had zero information. They should be reporting things that they're working on, not just.
Meeting minutes are over a page long. Because we can read them. I agree with that.
I'm just saying they should be reported. And, having the council liaison was a really good way to.
They are reported in our thing right here. So, and they are available. With the disconnect of like the cemeteries a month behind, it's hard for us to approve things that are, we have to have somebody report on it for a quick heads up type of thing. And then if they need it, they send us the minutes after they're approved right away.
And they're available for download.
I believe so. I mean, we have them on our thing.
I think do you mean if they're on the
The
website?
public cannot, the public that
No.
available.
Not on the website.
And that's what I'm saying, like when the liaison talks about it in the meeting and reports what's going on.
Sure.
That is now on the record for people to see.
I just want to bring up that in the Parks and Rec meeting minutes, I believe either in September or August, there was a discussion on chickens. So people that have chickens or may have problems with chickens may be interested in what the Parks and Rec is discussing about them.
I can say correct. We had no discussion about chickens.
It's in your report.
You did. I do have a comment as well. I recently recorded the entirety of a Parks and Rec meeting, and I have in that recording Rob Meyerholtz saying that he was asked by members of council to attend liaison meeting. Let's just attend the Parks and Rec meeting, that he texted every board member.
No.
He was going to bring, let me finish, sorry for raising my voice. That he texted every board member what he was going to bring and what he was going to say and what it was going to be discussed. To me, that is what a liaison did. He acted as liaison for that meeting, and they appreciated it and let him direct that meeting for them.
No, I did not.
So if they're going to behave in that way when a member of council attends, why did they get rid of the liaison?
I can tell you one of our members had decided that they were capable of taking the minutes and report them correctly.
Yeah, it's not about that. I guess to finish up my point there, I see literally no downside from having a council liaison. The volunteers on the Parks and Rec board don't know all the nuances of council, of government. And, having more collaboration is better than having not enough?
The Parks and Rec was, or I should say, have been very fluent in discussing needs and wants things with Stephanie and myself, and then other people of council to get a better scope of what they can do or should do, or so they're not going uninformed. So
I'm just pointing out that I learned nothing about what they're doing today.
The August sixth Parks and Rec meeting notes that council wants to change penalty for crowing chickens, discuss changing penalty for damage at parks may be considered criminal instead of civil penalty. The state takes it off. What the discussion on chickens.
And these are notes from Brittany, is that correct?
Nope,
So these are notes from.
not your liaison.
When do the Park and Recs minutes become a public record on so we can download them off and review them on the website? Because there's been nothing updated since
You can't.
July.
You have to do a public record.
Really?
For that, obviously,
Yeah,
because we don't have them available.
The last minutes are from July.
That's all of our
Yeah,
minutes,
just-
council minutes, right?
Council minutes are,
They're always like,
those are, the committees and boards are up to
like
date.
right now, we can't log on even ourselves and download last
Yeah.
council
As long as they're,
meeting.
so if you were to put in a request and they are drafted, they are available.
And Craig, I wasn't, my name should be on those meeting minutes as in attendance as part of the thing. And
I believe.
everybody knows that I do have my own notes. I do have in my notes that Doug, the chair, brought up the crowing hens Ken talked about.
okay. Mrs. Downing? Yeah.
You guys are gonna be really shocked. I actually am really curious about the monument at the cemetery. I don't know the family.
You sit next to one of them.
Oh, okay. Well, I've been taught, well, hello there. Can you guys explain to me why we would be using tax dollars to fight someone for a monument? I don't understand. It's long lasting, it's.
I'm not gonna-
Offensive anyway.
I'm
just
not going
curious.
to comment on that because that's a conversation that is beyond our scope here, because that is a cemetery rule.
All cemeteries,
Never exceptions made to cemetery rules.
all cemeteries have rules. I know my uncle is buried at Cleveland Memorial Gardens and they can't have certain stones. So
Absolutely, but how many people are coming to Weston, Ohio are we at like max capacity and every plot's been sold? It just, to me, seems nuts that a small village like that would one be so cruel to their own people.
Well,
Like,
first of all, I don't think anybody on the board and myself took this decision very cold.
you're talking about disinterment, you guys. That's nuts.
I'm not talking about anything.
Okay, so why can't an exception, does the law allow for an exception when you talk to your lawyer?
Well, we haven't got that far yet. We're in the process, so that's all I'm gonna say. The rule,
Not public records. You can't answer my question about
I can-
why the village.
you would hold your question on and then you maybe get some answers from the lady sitting next to you that I'm gonna call.
So I get my 3 minutes back?
No.
Okay.
So do you have anything else? I'm not commenting on that to you because it's nothing to do with you.
It has to do with the village of Weston. Wait, hold on. That's on record, but you won't answer a question about a village issue. You talked
This is
about
not a village issue. This is a cemetery issue.
You just talked about it in the village council.
Anyways, what's your next question?
No, I have no more questions. Very nicely done, Mr. Easterwood.
Well, I aim to please.
$200 an hour for the lawyer. Well,
Jane.
Well, I'm obviously here about the cemetery issue. Had I known that there was a special meeting tonight at 4:30, I would have attended. Because quite honestly, I would prefer to resolve it, not in court. And I feel like your committee is not giving me that option, to be quite honest with you. But I was coming tonight rather than the cemetery meeting, because I did read some information, in some of my readings through the Ohio Revised Code or the rules that the cemetery, and I just want an answer. So what I had read was the cemetery committee brings suggestions to the council and the mayor. And the council and the mayor are the ones that makes decisions specifically about monuments.
No.
You're saying that's absolutely wrong.
we do not,
So if I find that in writing, I can bring it up to.
we basically,
I can show it to the attorney, I guess.
basically, we are responsible for the fiscal portion of it because it is a levy. That's about it. They have the board that basically decides what they want to spend their money on.
Okay. Okay, so, the other thing I just wanted all of you to know, because you weren't all here, is when I went to the September cemetery board meeting to ask about, and I know you all are familiar with it because I think it's been talked about in the council meetings a time or two. We left that meeting. I felt like we got to a point where the reasoning that the rules stated that a monument had to be made out of granite or marble was probably for longevity. And we discussed the fact that the person that made this, the sculptor, it's the longevity of it is indefinitely. So we left that meeting with the idea that I was going to get an affidavit from my sculptor and get that to the mayor. I apologize, I didn't get it to you until last Monday.
And I forwarded it to all the rest of the.
Okay, he was out and I had another knee surgery. And then the other thing that I was expecting from your committee was, I had asked the question of just looking down the road, because I'm trying to get my ducks in a row. What is the process to have a grave dug up? And as far as the process and what's the cost? And the other thing is, will you buy my 4 parcels back? And I want to know those things before I go any further. And I want it in writing because obviously quite honestly, I don't feel that I don't feel like I can trust the verbal.
Right. I think, when we left that meeting or when we were in the meeting, they said it doesn't happen very often, but they said they do, and they have reimbursed, the buying back of what they paid for, of value or something along that line is what they said.
But you have to understand my concern, Mr. Mayor, that I want something in writing so that I can go back to that if that's the route that I decide to take.
Yeah, we'll definitely pass that on to them. I mean,
Yeah, I was gonna say. I
But yet
can
you went ahead and
email
had a special meeting.
I didn't have a
and
special
you-
meeting.
And they voted to go ahead and take me to court before we could even they even got the information they said they would.
They've
No.
They've been in close contact in legal with our legal and, to move forward, we had to go with a different legal because he was not representing us. And that's when we found out that he would not represent, I'm sorry, Brittany's in the way. He doesn't represent a board. Our legal does not represent a board. And we argued the fact that, they are, they're working for us. And he was like, no, because it's a levy and they are a board, they have to find. And
See, that's where I got the written information that they're a committee and they bring you ideas.
yeah,
So apparently Mr. Staff read the Ohio Revised Code the same way I did. Is that true? I mean, it sounds like it anyways.
they followed by,
Staff was not willing to do any legal action, so you went with me.
I think that's where
Okay.
they did, because he doesn't do anything of that nature because it's considered a board.
So it sounds like it has nothing to do with the council. It's all the cemetery. So as council, what would you suggest I do? Just wait for the attorney to contact me and set up a court date? I mean, we're small villages and small neighbors. I certainly would think we'd want to try to hash things out before we went to court, but
I just know that, our legal wanted to do, Paul, when we originally discussed that, he wanted to come up with a compromise. And I don't know if there is any compromise according to the board because it did not meet the rules.
Okay.
So
another thing for your council, the council, from what I read or what I listened to your YouTube, your council, somebody on your council suggested that the cemetery needed to go through and rewrite their rules. And from our meeting at the cemetery, and a few of you were there, maybe you got a different opinion. My take from it was there would be some rules that would be changed eventually, but the material would not. That was a no-go. And my suggestion was you need to give a listing of those rules to people when they buy a lot. I don't know. It's the first time that I've ever buried somebody. Now, they were talking about, well, we got to come up with a brochure. Forget the brochure. We don't need anything shiny, but people need to know what they're allowed to do. So I just want you to know.
And their cemetery
Seemed
rules.
like that was a suggestion that they were going to start.
That as in the actual item. and
Oh, yeah, they're
those
going to
things.
start.
Yeah, they're
but
gonna start.
But the cemetery,
I
They didn't
understand.
want to listen at all, Mr. Warner, to let's look at what's there. Is there something that can be grandfathered? No, absolutely not.
Super frustrating. I guess.
so
So anyways, yeah, I guess that's all there is.
we're gonna go to Travis.
No, I don't got anything.
Mrs. Lane, let's go with Alyssa.
Hi, yes. I just had a question for Mr. Meyerholtz. I was wondering what is your reasoning behind running for council again? What are you running on?
To be quite honest, this is a council meeting, not a question for candidates. If you want to send me an email, I will be more than happy to answer you in writing.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I had then.
Mr. Dallas.
Oh, I guess I'd like to make the comment on Jessica's idea. I think that's a great idea. As far as the parking lot aspect of things, keep it simple, keep it safe, and keep the semis off that you're going to have in the parking lot. I think that was a great idea.
Okay, Mr. Patel. Who's the other three?
Let me see if I can open that up.
Ashley's running.
Well, he's running to get my kid right now.
Excuse me?
He said, I'm good.
He's at the school, so
Okay.
yeah. Their service is not.
A dead zone out there anyway.
So we have
Jody.
this,
I don't know.
there's a citizen.
Whoever's a citizen, oh,
A spam box.
And then we have Jody Domer.
Jody? Anything for council? Okay, Josh? Kathy Johnson? That's it. We just need motion to adjourn.
Moved.
First, we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Second.
Okay. You always motion with her. Right, get out of here.